Good morning everyone. This is Kailin Kamikawa, American CNN TV. It was reported that a radioactive material leak occurred at a nuclear power plant in China. In the first place, I'm full of doubts from the beginning why the United States reports earlier than China. On the other hand, the Chinese companies that operate nuclear power plants, data as normal, emphasizing safety, but let's consider this. American CNN TV on June 14, 2021, radioactive material is leaking from a nuclear power plant in China, he said. French nuclear power company, Framatome, involved in operation asked the US government for cooperation, I reported. Why do you ask the US government for cooperation from the beginning? The Taishan nuclear power station was reported to have leaked radioactivity. It was the first third-generation nuclear reactor developed by a French company and started operation in 2018. The place is in Guangdong Province, China, where many Japanese live. It is also close to the tourist destinations of Macau and Hong Kong. The Chinese company that operates the nuclear power plant said that the observation of environmental data around the nuclear power plant was within the normal range and emphasizes safety. However, it does not mention the presence or absence of radiation leakage. The Japanese government chief cabinet secretary Kato, this time, the nuclear power plant in China for the facts about the coverage of radiation leaks. I hope that the Chinese side will be transparent and explain to the international community as soon as possible. Apparently, there is no change in the monitoring post in Japan, but he says he will continue to pay close attention to it. Meanwhile, the Biden administration in the United States was asked to cooperate by a French company. I received a report that there was an imminent radiation threat, but currently, there are no serious safety threats to nuclear workers or the general public in China. It means that it is evaluated. According to CNN TV, the Biden administration consulted with the French government and it is said that he also contacted the Chinese government. It is not clear what kind of exchange was made. The French electric power company, EDF, which invests 30% in the Taishan nuclear power plant, also announced on the 14th. We received a report from the nuclear power plant that the concentration of an element called noble gas is increasing in the reactor. Was announced. However, it does not mention whether there is any danger. Taishan nuclear power plant is a joint venture between China General Nuclear Power Group, CGN, and EDF, a major Chinese state-owned nuclear power plant. EDF has asked the joint venture to convene an extraordinary board of directors. The goal is for management to disclose all information and necessary decisions. According to documents sent by Framatome to the U.S. Department of Energy, obtained by CNN, etc. Chinese authorities to avoid shutting down nuclear power plants, the safety standards for radiation doses in the surrounding area have been relaxed and the permissible upper limit has been raised. No, isn't it? If the standard value is exceeded, will the operation be stopped first? Framatome warned that it was 2 to 3 times above French safety standards. If a serious threat is identified to the residents, the U.S. government may make a public announcement. It is said that the Chinese side will decide to suspend the operation. According to EDF and others, the concentration of rare gas increased in the first of the 2 reactors. It is a known event that noble gases are found, he explained. Generally in a nuclear reactor it is known that rare gases such as xenon and krypton are generated in the process of nuclear reaction. EDF is said to be in contact with the joint venture and providing technical advice. Framatome said on the 14th, judging by the information available, the reactor is operating within the permissible range of safety. The International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, has also contacted Chinese authorities to collect information, according to AFP news agency. The Taishan nuclear power plant is the latest nuclear power plant that uses the European Pressurized Water Reactor, EPR. Using French technology, it started commercial operation in December 2018. China has positioned nuclear power plants as a priority area for industrial development, and as of the end of 2020, about 50 units were in operation. It has the second largest power generation capacity after the United States and France. Zhao Lijian, deputy press director of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of China, said at a regular press conference on the 15th. He claimed that no abnormalities were found in the environment around the Taishan nuclear power plant, and safety is guaranteed. However, there are some doubts about the Chinese press. First, 1. Regarding the facts of this report on the radiation leak, the Chinese side is obliged to be transparent and explain to the international community at an early stage. Not reporting anything until it was reported by CNN, it will be out by itself anymore. The concealment constitution does not change. 2. In order to ensure the credibility of the press, we do not actively accept IAEA inspections. If the inspection is unacceptable, the Chinese press cannot be trusted at all. 3. We raised the allowable radiation dose around the nuclear power plant so that it would not be shut down. This is a typical example of what you shouldn't do. This makes no sense for the reference value. Without the above 3 improvements, we cannot become a credible country. It is unavoidable to be called Asia's shame if you do this kind of thing every time. If you want to complain to someone, wipe your butt first. What kind of criticism did China, which is so sweet, criticize Japan's release of treated water from Fukushima? Let's take a look here again. Indignant at the decision to release treated water from the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant, a video of a Chinese junior high school girl crying became a hot topic. Recently, a crying video of a girl living in Shandong province was noticed on Chinese SNS. The reason for the crying is the resentment of the Japanese government's decision to release treated water from the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. This child has a strong awareness of environmental protection. She thinks the earth doesn't belong only to adults. The girl student's mother responded to a media interview. Well, it's a moving story. However, in recent decades, China has experienced many environmental problems due to its economic development. Beijing's new specialty, yellow sand, water pollution in rivers and lakes, including the Yangtze River Basin, and inshore waters, soil pollution in rural areas and garbage problems in urban areas. I've never heard the news that someone in China cried because of these serious environmental problems. Why did you cry so indignantly because of the treated water from the nuclear power plant in Japan? China's distinctive international spirit, which is indifferent to oneself but takes great care of others. Speaking of easy to understand, it is easy to understand. It's just political use. There are quite a few people on the internet in China who have grown up with this kind of education. They can't see the pollution around them, but they bite into the release of treated water from nuclear power plants in Japan. If they question their anger, they will always repel. According to him, China certainly has environmental pollution, but only China pollutes it. China's environmental pollution is a matter of domestic affairs in Japan, and other countries have no right to say anything about it. On the other hand, Japan affects the whole world by releasing treated water into the sea. Chinese also have the right to blame the Japanese government. Well, it's a very, very coherent logic. The open mouth is not closed. Immediately after the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant accident occurred in March 2011, China's internet is still full of criticisms against Japan, because Chinese people who are afraid of radioactive materials rushed to buy up various parts of China temporarily fell into a serious salt shortage. Iodine-containing salt has the effect of preventing exposure to radioactive substances. This is because there was a rumor that the salt made from seawater was contaminated. Certainly, Chinese also have the freedom to blame the Japanese government. But at least you should wipe your butt and then blame others. After hearing the authoritative scientific basis of the IAEA, International Atomic Energy Agency, I would like people to blame. No matter how much you have the right, if I was walking with shit on my own, I don't think there is any qualification to blame the other person. That's all.